Are you ready for the ultimate Zarpado compilation facts? Subscribe and let's start. The creator, Susan Stockwell, designed a world map using recycled materials from electronic devices. For her work, she used elements such as motherboards, hard drives, and other components from unused computers. This piece combines art technology and environmental awareness in a striking visual representation. In the German town of Seelbach, there are unique homes built among the treetops. These elevated structures, located at 14.8 feet above the ground, offer a different lodging experience. Each house has 2 rooms, a fully equipped kitchen, a private bathroom, and access to wireless internet. Muhammad Rashid achieved an impressive feat by breaking 315 walnuts in just 60 seconds using only his elbow. This demonstration of strength and coordination earned him a rare record. His ability to execute fast and precise movements sets him apart for his exceptional skill. The skin of the pineapple has a remarkable tolerance to high temperatures, being able to withstand up to 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks to the structure of its natural fibers, it acts as an excellent thermal insulator. This feature makes it a resource with potential for developing fire-resistant materials. Matt Bush is an athlete specialized in extreme sports who decided to dedicate himself to full-free climbing. This discipline involves climbing vertical cliffs without using any kind of safety equipment or harness. One of his challenge is to face heights using only his skills and physical strength. Along the Icelandic coastline rises a rock formation known as the Elephant Rock. This unique structure has been shaped over centuries by the constant force of waves and gusts of wind. Over time, it became a representative symbol of the natural landscape of the region. Singapore Airlines offers its passengers the possibility of traveling in individual suites equipped with sliding doors for greater privacy. These exclusive airborne rooms include double beds, private bathrooms, and personalized luxury service. This level of comfort and service translates into a considerably high cost. When giraffes want to hydrate, they have to spread their front legs or bend their joints to reach the ground with their long neck. However, most of the liquid they need is obtained directly from the leaves they consume. Can you imagine Tom and Jerry ending their lives, despite how unusual it sounds this happened? In the final episode, Blue Cat Blues, Tom loses his love and falls into depression. Jerry tries to cheer him up, but in the end, both appear sitting on train tracks, holding each other, waiting for the impact. The scene ends with the sound of a train approaching and a fade to black. It may sound surprising, but British model Elizabeth Hode, age 49, married her dog Logan, a golden retriever, age 6 after 4 failed engagements and 220 unsuccessful dates. The ceremony took place on the British show This Morning, where Hode walked in her wedding dress, while her loyal dog waited for her at the altar. And let me introduce you to Natalie Sidesurf, a pastry chef and artist known for her YouTube channel, Sidesurf Cake Studio. She stands out for designing cakes so realistic that they perfectly imitate objects, people, and animals. Her talent combines baking with sculpture, creating works that amaze with their detail. Thanks to this, she has reached great international popularity. Bashir Sultani, a Canadian artist of Afghan origin, transforms colored pencils into pieces of art that look like they came out of a visual puzzle. Guilherme Mampuia is an Angolan artist whose energy and optimism seem to fill every stroke he makes. His art does not settle for staying on gallery walls. His goal is to go out into the world, transforming gray walls into explosions of color and turning ordinary spaces into lively scenes. Ron Muke, born in Australia in 1958, is a master of hyper-realistic sculptures that seem to come to life. Before shining in contemporary art, he worked in film special effects, which refined his incredible attention to detail. His works stand out for playing with scale giant or tiny human figures that capture essential moments of life from birth to old age. Isaiah Acosta is a true example of how the human spirit can break any barrier. He was born without a jaw and without airways, so he has never been able to speak or eat like others, and he also lives with a rare condition called situs inversus, which causes his organs to be located on the opposite side of the body. But that did not stop him. He found his voice in rap writing lyrics that others performed for him and sharing messages so powerful that even the BBC nominated him as a source of inspiration. In the Indian city of Mangaluru, Ganapathy Bhatt revolutionized the way betel nuts are harvested with an invention as ingenious as it is fast, a palm-climbing scooter. This curious device made with a motor wheels and a simple seat allows him to climb 65.6 feet in just 5 seconds. Zarpado, a farmer by trade and creator by nature, designed this machine to make his daily work easier, and now many farmers dream of having one just like it. Plurobot looks like something out of a science fiction movie, but it is actually a robotic salamander created by scientists to study movement. Its flexible structure mimics real bones and joints, allowing it to move across land and swim naturally. From Idaho, Elias Herrera became a sensation on TikTok with his most unlikely companion, a cow named Bruce. What is curious is that Bruce does not live in a barn, but is part of the family. He appears in videos cooking, exploring the house, and even interacting as if he were a curious dog. With more than 100 million views, this unusual friendship shows that affection knows no species and no size. And if we talk about shadows that tell stories, we cannot forget Kuronoshi. This young Japanese artist turns simple pieces of cardboard into sculptures that, with the right lighting project, hidden images, faces, landscapes, and scenes that are only revealed when illuminated from the correct angle. The mega-mouth shark is an exceptionally rare creature in the oceans. Since it was first identified in 1976, only around 60 individuals have been documented. Its presence is so uncommon that it remains a mystery to marine scientists. This specimen stands out for its enormous mouth and little-known habits. In New Zealand, there is an elevation with the longest recorded name in the world as seen here. This name pays tribute to an ancient Maori warrior who, according to legend, played a melody with his flute in honor of his deceased brother. Julius Yego, a renowned javelin thrower from Kenya, became a story of unconventional perseverance. Due to the lack of specialized coaches in his country, he turned to YouTube as his main source of learning. By studying recordings of professional athletes, he refined his technique until he became a silver medalist at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. At the Benito Villamarin Stadium, thousands of stuffed animals flew from the stands in an emotional act of solidarity. During the match against SDI Bar on matchday 17 of the 2018-2019 season, Betis fans threw toys onto the field. The rain of stuffed animals turned the grass into a sea of colors, all to bring joy to underprivileged children at Christmas. Let me introduce you to Min Mayo, a talented Vietnamese artist specialized in paper craft, the art of creating three-dimensional figures using only paper. On his website, he offers templates so others can recreate his impressive models, which include anime, video game, and pop culture characters. What sets his designs apart is his creativity and attention to detail. He also shares some models for free, making this fascinating art more accessible. The Korowai tribe from Papua lives in houses built high in the trees of the jungle. These homes, made from natural materials such as wood, bamboo, and bark, can hold up to 15 people. To access them, the inhabitants use a very peculiar ladder, a notched tree trunk. Well, this unique lifestyle shows the incredible adaptation of the tribe to its natural environment. Discover the shark statue in Lake Neuchâtel, Switzerland, a curious piece of modern art. It simulates a shark emerging from the water, made with shiny metals that play with the light. Its presence causes surprise and invites reflection with its provocative design. The sculpture represents the link between humanity, nature, and the unpredictable. The humanoid robot Tiangong drew attention by completing a half marathon in Beijing in 2024. At only 5.3 feet tall and 95 pounds, it covered 13 miles in less than 3 hours. It maintained a steady pace of 13 minutes 42 seconds per mile, surprising everyone present. This achievement was accomplished by the Artificial Intelligence Robotics Innovation Center. In 2017, Evandro Portela left everyone amazed by reaching 125 miles per hour on a bicycle on an urban road near Curitiba, Brazil. To achieve this dizzying speed, he took advantage of the slipstream of a Subaru WRX equipped with a special polycarbonate cover that reduced wind resistance. His bicycle, of course, was not ordinary. It had a 105-tooth chain ring and ceramic bearings that optimized every pedal stroke, turning this feat into a memorable world record. Thousands of miles away in the busy streets of Malacca, Malaysia, a refreshing drink steals attention and taste buds, watermelon juice served in its own rind. This healthy and eye-catching option not only delights with its natural sweetness, but also with its eco-friendly presentation. It is prepared instantly directly from the fruit and sold for about $3 in tourist spots like Yonker Street. The result, a burst of tropical freshness with an Instagram-worthy look. Victoria Lee from China takes realism and tattooing to another level. Since 2014, she has perfected the ability to capture light shadows and even the smallest detail in portraits and compositions that look like photographs. An owner of Victoria and Gallery, she has been internationally recognized for blurring that fine line between art and reality, leaving a deep mark on the tattoo world with her meticulous and passionate work. And speaking of young talent, Victory Brinker is a girl who was literally born to shine on stage. At just 7 years old, she was already a professional opera singer with a Guinness record included. Her voice, capable of performing arias in several languages, left the judges of America's Got Talent speechless, who did not hesitate to award her a group Golden Buzzer, the first in the history of the show. Since then, Victory has not stopped dazzling the world, proving that art, like talent, knows no age. This relative of the seahorse, known as the leafy sea dragon, has a collection of leaf-shaped appendages that perfectly camouflage it among seaweed. Its appearance is so spectacular that it looks designed by a fantasy artist. It floats elegantly while its little leaves move, as if the water itself were weaving it. In Colombia, there is an apartment that faithfully recreates the iconic house from The Simpsons, and it is available to rent through Airbnb. This themed home has become so famous that booking a stay in it is difficult due to high demand. Fans of the series enjoy the opportunity to live a unique experience by staying there. Bartosz Ostalowski, a Polish driver who lost both arms, learned to drive a car using his feet. He not only managed to return to the wheel, but also became an expert driver, demonstrating an incredible story of personal overcoming. Thanks to his perseverance and effort, he overcame obstacles that seemed impossible. Sergei Kadenas presents in his creations a portrait that transforms depending on the perspective from which it is observed. The piece reflects the passage of time through small changes in facial expression. Each angle reveals a new facet, as if the face were telling a story in constant motion. Let me introduce you to Mudong, a small pygmy hippopotamus born in 2024 that captured the hearts of millions after going viral for its peculiar and adorable appearance. Although it now looks like a creature from a cartoon in a few years, it will reach 606 pounds. This little-known species inhabits remote areas of West Africa and faces an uncertain future in the wild. Fewer than 2,000 individuals survive. In the South China Sea, there is the Dragon Hole, a blue hole more than 984 feet deep, considered the deepest in the world. What is strange is not only its size, but that several expeditions have failed when trying to reach the bottom. Do you know the Haenyeo on Jeju Island in South Korea? There is a community of extraordinary women who challenge the ocean every day. They are the Haenyeo divers, who without oxygen masks dive up to 32.8 feet deep to collect shellfish such as abalone and sea urchins. Can you imagine holding your breath for several minutes while exploring the ocean depths? The Haenyeo do it daily. In Japan, there is a television contest where participants try to climb an incredibly slippery ladder to reach an envelope at the top. And it looks easy, but every step is chaos, epic falls, unexpected slips, and guaranteed laughter. Contestants cling however they can, while the audience enjoys their funny struggles. Some manage to reach the top, but most end up sliding back down. The Weeped Sonic Expander is not just any electric motorcycle, it is a true bullet on wheels. With a speed of up to 87 miles per hour, this futuristic beast combines power and style in a single vehicle. Its aerodynamic design and advanced technology make it one of the fastest electric motorcycles in the world. Cuban Eric Hernandez took the art of ball control to another level. With extraordinary endurance, he kept the ball in the air for more than 12 hours without it touching the ground, securing a place in the Guinness World Record. Soaring while others get tired in minutes, he turned his skill into an almost superhuman feat. Imagine lasting that long without losing control of the ball. Do you know the white turf of St. Moritz in Switzerland? It is a spectacular horse race on a frozen lake held every February. Over 3 Sundays, jockeys and thoroughbreds from all over Europe compete in front of more than 30,000 spectators in an event that combines sport art and luxury in a dreamlike winter landscape. Let me introduce you to Eliseo Ramos, a man who has turned a cave into his home on Cerro de la Silla, Mexico. After losing his house more than 25 years ago, he decided to build a new space in the rocks, adapting the cave with a bathroom, dining area, and even a living room. Today, Eliseo lives there, proving that with creativity, a home can be made anywhere. Camels have an incredible ability to eat thorny plants without suffering damage thanks to a special layer in their mouths. This adaptation allows them to survive in deserts where food is scarce. Their tough palate located in the upper part of the mouth helps protect them from thorns while chewing. In this way, cactus spines pass through their throat without causing any harm. In Moscow, the restaurant Twin Stars is so peculiar that its entire staff is made up exclusively of twins. This unique concept creates a memorable experience for diners who can interact with staff that share a special connection. Did you know that in Afghanistan, there is an ancient trick to preserve fresh grapes for up to 6 months? It is called kangina, and it is a remarkable traditional method. Grapes are stored in clay and straw containers tightly sealed and hidden in basements or underground. In this way, without refrigerators or chemicals, the fruit remains juicy and delicious during winter and spring. Amar Bharati, a man from India, decided in 1973 to raise his right arm as a deep sign of devotion to the god Shiva, and since then, he has never lowered it. This incredible act of faith and sacrifice turned him into a living symbol of renunciation and spirituality to the point that his arm became immobilized, reflecting an austerity that amazes and inspires those who learn about his story. Deep in northern forests, a creature sometimes appears so rare that it seems taken from a legend, the fire fox. And this variant of the red fox has intensely orange fur and a hypnotic gaze, the result of a genetic alteration that affects melanin. It is estimated that less than 1% of red foxes belong to this incredible category, and they have been sighted in places such as Canada, Norway, and Japan. Located in the Danakil Desert, Dalol has temperatures that reach 122 degrees Fahrenheit for much of the year. But the most extreme aspect is its geothermal activity. Boiling sulfuric acid springs multicolored salt pools and toxic gases in the air. Rambo, an orangutan living in Dubai, has amazed everyone by mastering the driving of a golf cart. He moves with great skill and caution through the zoo facilities, captivating those who watch him. This intelligent primate shows an unusual ability, proving that his learning goes beyond expectations. His calm and safe driving has generated great admiration among visitors who enjoy seeing his talent behind the wheel. In New York, a restaurant called Industry Kitchen has earned a place in the Guinness World Record thanks to its most extravagant culinary creation, the most expensive pizza on the planet. With a price of $2,700, this exclusive pizza must be reserved at least 2 days in advance. Its recipe includes luxurious ingredients such as pure 24-karat gold leaves, strong blue cheese, and French truffle. During her teenage years, the actress Margot Robbie took her admiration for Harry Potter to an unusual level. Her fandom was so strong that she even pretended to have vision problems just to wear glasses similar to those of the famous wizard. Her goal was to look more like her literary idol, even adopting the characteristic style of round lenses. Japan leads the world in the number of vending machines, with more than 5.5 million distributed throughout the country. This means there is approximately one machine for every 23 people, making quick access to various products easier. China ranks second with more than 300,000 units. Former Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, who finished his term in 2024, lived through a dramatic experience during the 2004 tsunami in Thailand. When in that natural disaster, he and his son managed to survive by holding onto a utility pole, resisting the force of the water. This brave and fortunate act allowed them to survive one of the most devastating catastrophes in recent history, marking an unforgettable personal episode for Niinisto. Fish known as anglerfish that live in the dark depths of the ocean use a glowing appendage as a lure to attract prey. A notable feature of these creatures is the enormous size difference between sexes. The females are significantly larger than the males. Because of this, the male attaches parasitically to the female, fusing with her to ensure reproduction. Let me introduce you to Jonathan, a giant tortoise that has defied the passage of time like no other land animal. Born in 1832 in the Seychelles Islands, Jonathan has not only lived more than 190 years, but also holds the record as the longest living land creature on the planet. He currently resides on St. Helena Island, where he is a local celebrity and a symbol of extraordinary longevity. Han, North Korea operates an airline known as Air Koryo, which keeps a total of 6 aircraft in service. For a long time, this airline was considered the worst rated in the world by Skytrax, receiving only 1 star out of a maximum of 5. However, today its classification has changed and it currently has no official rating. In 2007, a Japanese submarine captured video of a colossal squid more than 32.8 feet long that showed behaviors never recorded before, such as aggressively approaching the submersible and wrapping it with its tentacles. What makes it unsettling is not only its size, but its intelligence and territorial attitude. In Papua New Guinea, the Huli wigmen take hairstyling to another level. Their iconic wigs are made from their own hair, carefully grown and shaped until reaching the perfect form. It is not just an accessory, but a symbol of status and tradition, decorated with bird of paradise feathers for important ceremonies. The Conrad Rangali in the Maldives holds the title of the largest underwater hotel in the world. This luxurious paradise has the first underwater suite on the planet and an underwater restaurant where you can eat while observing marine life. Built with an investment of $15 million, the hotel offers a unique experience, sleeping 16.4 feet below sea level. Of course, this luxury comes at a price, with stays starting at $50,000 per night. Rabbits cannot vomit, which is a matter of life or death for them. Their stomach muscles are so strong and the entry valve so narrow that it is physically impossible for food to come back up. That is why they need to eat hay constantly to push everything downward. If something makes them sick, they have no way to expel it through the mouth, a weakness few people know. The city of Whittier in Alaska has almost all of its population living in a single building. It houses 214 of the 272 residents of the town. It has apartments, school, hospital, post office store, and police station all under the same roof. They can spend the entire winter without going outside because tunnels connect the building to everything else, like a cruise ship permanently anchored in Alaska. The 100% natural orange juice you buy package hides a secret. Brands squeeze the oranges and store the liquid in giant tanks for a year, removing all the oxygen so it does not spoil. In doing so, it loses all its flavor. Before packaging, they inject flavor packets artificially designed by perfume companies. So it tastes like fresh orange. It is basically an edible perfume. Broccoli does not exist in nature. It is a human invention. Italian farmers created it about 2,000 years ago through artificial selection of the wild mustard plant. They chose plants with larger flowers generation after generation until creating modern broccoli. The same happened with cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. They all come from the same ancestral plant. The black rings around the eyes of meerkats are not simple decorative marks. They work exactly like the black paint baseball players wear under their eyes. They absorb the harsh glare of the African sun, allowing them to look directly at the bright sky to detect eagles without being blinded. They are natural sunglasses built into their own face. Reserve parachutes are packed by certified professionals who sign the package with their name and license number. If the main parachute fails and you open the emergency, that person is legally responsible for it working. If it fails, they can go to prison. That is why packers earn huge salaries and have an almost perfect safety record. Your life literally depends on their signature. Moles are not blind as commonly believed. They have very small eyes and can see light and blurry shapes, but they hardly use sight because they live underground in total darkness. Instead, they have a super sense of smell and ultra-sensitive whiskers. They can smell in stereo because each nostril detects odors separately, so they know exactly in which direction a worm is underground. It is like having an olfactory GPS. When a free diver descends to more than 328 feet deep, the pressure should crush their lungs like a can. But the body has a hidden superpower. It shifts blood plasma from the extremities and injects it into the lung cavity to fill the space and prevent collapse. When ascending, the blood returns to its place as if nothing happened, pure biological engineering. The car headrest is not for resting. Its name is a mistake. It is a vital safety element designed exclusively to prevent whiplash. In a rear collision, your head is thrown backward with a force that could break your neck. If the top of the headrest is not aligned with the top of your head, it will be useless. Mosquitoes do not bite at random. They have very clear preferences. They are strongly attracted to people with blood type O and to those who exhale higher amounts of carbon dioxide when breathing, such as larger people or those who have just exercised. So if you get bitten more than your friend now, you know the scientific reason behind that unfairness. It is not bad luck, it is pure biology. When flight attendants greet you as you board a plane, it is not just courtesy. They are doing a psychological and physical scan. They are mentally noting strong people or military individuals who could help in an emergency evacuation, while at the same time detecting passengers who may be drunk sick or very nervous before it becomes a problem in the air. Every greeting has a hidden purpose. Almost all modern trains and subways have a system called the dead man pedal. The driver must press a pedal or touch a button every few seconds continuously. If they have a heart attack, faint, or fall asleep and release that pedal, the train computer automatically activates the emergency brakes to prevent a derailment. It is a relentless safety system. The shoebill is an African bird that looks like it came straight out of the dinosaur era and can reach up to 4.9 feet tall. The most terrifying part is the sound it produces when clapping its hollow beak, a loud, dry noise, identical to a machine gun firing. It uses it to greet or mark territory, and if you hear it in the jungle without seeing it, you will think you are in a war zone. Almost all world maps use the Mercator projection, which enlarges the size of countries as they move away from the equator. That is why Greenland looks as large as Africa. In reality, Africa is 14 times larger. Within its outline, you could fit China, the United States, India, Japan, and almost all of Europe together, a continent whose real immensity maps hide. Human skeletons are not static. Cells called osteoclasts break down old bone, while osteoblasts constantly build new bone. This process is so active that approximately every 10 years, all the bone tissue in your body has been completely replaced. You basically have a new skeleton every decade. Without realizing it, your bones are living tissue in constant renewal. The shape of Pringles is a hyperbolic paraboloid designed mathematically. They are not regular potato chips, but a dough created so they can be perfectly stacked. That saddle shape is incredibly resistant to pressure and allows the chips to support each other in the tube without being crushed during transport, something impossible with a conventional bag. Your belly button has a unique ecosystem of bacteria that no one else in the world has. Scientists found 2,368 different species in human navels. Each person has their own unique combination, like a bacterial fingerprint. Some people have bacteria that had only been found in the soil of Japan without ever having been there. A mysterious, microscopic universe. The island of Bali celebrates once a year Nyepi, or the Day of Silence, where the entire island shuts down completely. There are no lights, no one goes outside, the airport closes, and even the internet is cut off. Tradition says this is done to trick evil spirits into thinking the island is deserted, so they pass by. A full day of absolute darkness and silence. In Budapest, many statues have noses or hands with a bright golden color. There is a local superstition that rubbing those bronze parts brings luck in exams or in love. So many hands have passed over them that the original metal has worn down until it shines like pure gold. The superstition has become a tourist attraction visible to the naked eye. The floors of large parking garages are never completely flat. They have a mandatory slight slope of 1 or 2%, not only so rainwater drains into the gutters, but also so that in case of a fuel leak, gasoline does not remain pooled under the vehicle, reducing a greater fire risk. A safety detail that goes unnoticed by everyone. Blueberries bounce when they are fresh. Farmers traditionally drop them downstairs to separate good ones from rotten ones. Fresh ones bounce like balls all the way down, while ripe or spoiled ones stick to the steps. You can try it at home, throw a fresh blueberry on the ground, and it will bounce. If it does not bounce, it is already spoiled and you should not eat it. Canned tuna is not fresh fish that was simply canned. When it is caught, it is immediately frozen at -76 degrees Fahrenheit on the boat to kill parasites. Then it is cooked, the skin and bones are removed. It is shredded and packaged with oil or water. The process kills any bacteria, which is why it can last 5 years without refrigeration. It is processed fish from the very beginning. The planarian is an almost immortal flatworm. If you cut it into 10 pieces, each piece regenerates a new head and tail, creating 10 different worms that retain the memories of the original. This regenerative ability has made them laboratory models to study memory and developmental biology. Scientists seek to apply their principles to human regenerative medicine. Dogs' noses are cold and wet mainly to improve their sense of smell. The moisture helps dissolve and trap odor molecules from the air, making them easier to analyze by their millions of olfactory receptors. In addition, the evaporation of that moisture contributes to the dog's thermoregulation, since they cannot sweat through their skin like humans. The nose is their vital tool. Swedish surströmming is the smelliest food in the world. It is fermented herring in a can that smells so strong it is forbidden to open it inside buildings in Sweden. The can swells from fermentation gases and can explode. Airlines ban it on flights because it bursts with pressure changes. It smells like a mix of sewage and rotten vinegar, an extreme sensory experience. The coconut has a strong, fibrous outer shell that contains an internal air chamber, allowing it to float and survive journeys across the oceans for up to 110 days without the inner seed rotting. This adaptation has been key to the natural colonization of remote Pacific islands. The coconut literally conquered territories by sailing alone on ocean currents. The wandering albatross has the largest wingspan in the world, reaching up to 11.5 feet. Its secret is a special tendon in the shoulder that physically locks the wings in an open position. It can glide thousands of miles over the ocean without spending a single ounce of muscular energy, flying for days without moving its wings even once. A cut from a sheet of paper hurts more than one from a knife because the edge of a paper sheet under a microscope looks like a rusty saw that tears and crushes the cells of your skin. Also, since the cut is shallow and barely bleeds, no protective scab forms, and the nerve endings remain exposed to the oxygen in the air, which constantly irritates them. That is why that small cut hurts so much. A coffee thermos does absolutely nothing active. It is simply a flask inside another flask, separated by a vacuum. Since there are no air molecules between the two walls, heat has nowhere to escape or enter. It does not know whether it should keep something hot or cold. It simply stops the physics of energy transfer, a brilliant design because of its simplicity. No one sees colors exactly the same. What you see as red is not identical to the red another person sees. Each eye has different sensitivity to light, and the brain interprets signals in a unique way. In experiments, two people see the same object and swear it has different tones. Real color does not exist, only shared perceptions, Both could be right at the same time. African gray parrots have the intelligence of a 5-year-old child. They can solve puzzles, use tools, understand the concept of zero lie, on purpose and comfort other sad parrots. The most famous parrot studied by scientists could identify 50 different objects, 7 colors, 5 shapes, and count up to 6. An animal intelligence that amazes researchers. 500 euro banknotes stopped being produced because they took up so little space that you could fit 6 million euros in a small suitcase, making money laundering much easier. Almost no one had seen them in person, but they existed and were a serious problem for the economy. Everyone knew they existed, but practically no one used them in legal transactions. The Pacific Ocean is so large that it has its own antipode. If you traveled through the Earth in a straight line from certain points in the Pacific, you would come out in another point of the same Pacific. It is larger than all the land surface of all continents, combined a body of water so immense that it defies any land comparison you try to make. When you open a new bottle of olive oil and remove the plastic ring from the seal, do not throw it away. If you flip it and place it back into the spout, it works as a perfect dispenser, so the oil flows in a thin stream instead of uncontrolled pours. It is a simple trick that very few people know, but completely changes how you serve oil. The silverback gorilla does not lead because it hits harder, but because it is the one that best avoids conflicts. Its back turns gray due to a surge of hormones when it matures. When there is tension, it beats its chest because it has lateral air sacs that make the sound travel miles, announcing its position, so no one has to actually fight leadership based on deterrence. Every time you flush the toilet with the lid open, an invisible cloud of aerosolized water with fecal bacteria is created that settles on everything in the bathroom, especially your toothbrush, if it is within 6.6 feet. That is why you should keep your toothbrush in a closed cabinet, or at least close the lid, before flushing, a fact that changes habits. Horses cannot breathe through their mouths. They are obligate nasal breathers. The horse's soft palate completely blocks the mouth, so air can only go from the nose to the lungs. This allows them to eat and run at high speed at the same time, without risk of choking, a perfect evolutionary adaptation for an animal designed to gallop and feed nonstop. Central Park has nothing natural about it. To build it, more than 3 million cubic meters of earth were moved more than for the Panama Canal in its time, and more than 270,000 trees and shrubs were planted strategically so that New Yorkers would feel like they were in the countryside surrounded by asphalt. It is an ecosystem entirely built from scratch by humans. Most rockets and satellites are launched toward the east to take advantage of the Earth's rotation speed. By launching in that direction, the rocket gains an additional boost of up to 994 miles per hour at the equator, which saves a huge amount of fuel to reach orbit. It is like running before jumping instead of jumping from a standstill, physics applied to space. The bar-headed goose is capable of flying above Everest at more than 29,500 feet of altitude. At that height, the air has so little oxygen that a human would die in minutes. But these geese have special hemoglobin that captures oxygen with extreme efficiency and capillaries in their muscles that do not freeze at negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, high-altitude biological machines. The leatherback turtle is the largest sea turtle and can weigh 1,984 pounds. Its entire throat and esophagus are lined with hundreds of backward-pointing spines called papillae. This allows it to swallow venomous jellyfish and prevent them from escaping by slipping back out. Inside its mouth, it looks like a movie monster, but it is a perfect adaptation for its diet. We think of space as unreachable, but the official boundary is only 62 miles high. If you could point your car upward and drive at highway speed, you would take exactly 1 hour to reach outer space. It is closer to you than many nearby cities. The distance to the cosmos is surprisingly short when you put it into a terrestrial perspective. The Concorde was a supersonic luxury aircraft that crossed the Atlantic in less than 3 hours, allowing it to literally outrun the sun. It stopped being used due to high operating costs, the impact of the sonic boom that limited routes, the drop in passengers after the accident of the year 2000, and the aviation crisis that followed. a technological dream that lasted decades before landing forever. Fruit stickers are edible. The paper and adhesive are classified by health agencies as food grade. So if you swallow one by mistake, nothing will happen because they are designed to be digested safely. But obviously, do not eat them on purpose because you never know if your fruit seller handled them properly. The giant isopod looks like a woodlouse the size of a small dog reaching up to 2.5 feet in length. They live on the dark, cold ocean floor. Their metabolism is so slow that one specimen in captivity in Japan survived 5 full years without taking a single bite of food before dying. A fasting record in the animal world that is hard to beat. You cannot smell while you are in deep sleep. Your brain shuts down the sense of smell, so you do not wake up from every nighttime odor. That is why smoke alarms use sound. A person could die in a fire simply because they cannot smell the smoke while in deep sleep. Sound is the only signal the sleeping brain can process to alert you. In Venezuela, there is Mount Roraima, a mountain with a completely flat top surrounded by vertical cliffs of 1,312 feet. It is so isolated from the rest of the world that it has developed its own ecosystem. 80% of the insects and plants that live on the summit do not exist anywhere else on Earth. A real lost world that inspired adventure novels. Walruses can sleep floating in the open sea without sinking, thanks to elastic air sacs in their throat that they can inflate at will. These sacs act exactly like a swimmer's life jacket. They basically carry a biological flotation device in their neck that allows them to rest peacefully in the middle of the ocean without any effort. Wind turbines are so large that a single blade can be longer than a commercial airplane. The tips of those blades spin at a speed of nearly 186 miles per hour, generating pressure so intense that they sometimes create their own mini condensation clouds around them like fighter jets. Technological giants that produce energy from wind on an industrial scale. The weasel has such a fast metabolism that it needs to eat 1/3 of its body weight every day to avoid starving. They are so aggressive that they can hunt prey 10 times larger than themselves, such as adult rabbits, biting the base of the skull to disconnect the spinal cord. Small but absolutely lethal in their predatory efficiency. Train wheels are not straight cylinders, but have a mahrut shape. This inclination allows the train to take curves in a stable way without the need for a differential. In a curve, the outer wheel uses the wider part of the cone to travel more distance than the inner one automatically. A clever design that solves a complex mechanical problem with simple geometry. The seat belt does not lock because you pull it hard. Inside the mechanism, there is a small loose metal ball. When the car brakes, suddenly inertia causes that ball to shoot forward, pushing a lever that locks the gear teeth in a fraction of a second. It is a system based purely on mechanics without electricity, relying on a simple physical pendulum. Airport firefighters operate trucks capable of accelerating from 0 to 50 miles per hour in less than 25 seconds, despite weighing 66,000 pounds. This is vital because regulations require them to reach any point on the runway in less than 3 minutes after the alarm. They are true speed monsters designed for extreme emergencies. We think a glass bottle is better for the planet than a plastic one, but it is only half true. Glass weighs much more and is fragile. If that eco-friendly bottle is imported from another country by trucks and ships, the carbon dioxide emitted during transport is so massive that it can pollute more than a plastic bottle made in your city. Recycling is not as simple as it seems. And the Tasmanian devil suffers from a contagious cancer unique in the animal kingdom. It spreads through bites to the face when they fight over food. Cancer cells implant in the wound, and the tumor grows, deforming the jaw and making feeding difficult. This has decimated entire populations and forced captive breeding programs to try to save the species. The snail has 25,000 teeth. They are not like ours. They are in an organ called the radula that works like a mechanical file. Its surface is so hard that they can drill through limestone rocks to extract minerals or pierce the shells of other mollusks. Basically, its mouth is a biological circular saw that grinds almost any material it encounters. The echidna of Australia looks like a hedgehog, but breaks all the rules of biology. It is a mammal that lays eggs, has no stomach, and digests directly in the intestine. Males have a reproductive organ with 4 heads, and to avoid exhaustion during mating, they deactivate 2 and use the other 2, alternating them like reloadable cartridges. A truly unique creature. The remote control in a hotel is by far the dirtiest object in any room, even more than the toilet. Since many people touch it constantly and it is rarely cleaned thoroughly, it accumulates an impressive amount of bacteria. Some modern hotels already provide them inside sealed plastic covers to ensure they are disinfected before you touch them. Scientists discovered that dogs wag their tails with direction. If they see someone they like, they wag more to the right. If they see someone unknown or who makes them nervous, they wag more to the left. It is a subtle signal that other dogs understand perfectly, but humans usually do not notice. Every tail movement has a specific meaning. Your red blood cells complete a full journey through your circulatory system in just 60 seconds. That means every drop of blood passes through your heart, reaches your feet, and returns to your lungs about 1,440 times each day to collect oxygen and release waste. An internal transport system that works non-stop throughout your life. Excavators have tracks instead of wheels because they distribute the weight of the machine, which can be 110,000 pounds over a much larger surface. This prevents them from sinking into mud, allowing them to exert less pressure on the ground than a person walking. A steel giant that steps more gently than a human, thanks to its design. In bulletproof glass in security vehicles is not a single thick piece of glass. It is a laminate of multiple layers of glass, alternated with flexible polycarbonate sheets. When a projectile hits, the glass absorbs the energy by breaking, and the polycarbonate layer traps the projectile and fragments, preventing them from penetrating the cabin. Layered protection engineering. When an African warthog runs scared, it holds its tail completely stiff straight up, like the antenna of a remote control car. It is not for aerodynamics. The babies are so small they cannot see anything through the tall savanna grass. That raised tail works like a visual flag, so the young can follow the mother at full speed without getting lost during the escape. Scissors do not cut by sharpness like a knife, but by a force called shear. When you close the blades, they pass so close to each other that they apply opposite forces at a very narrow point, overcoming the resistance of the material. That is why when scissors are loose and the blades separate slightly, they stop cutting and simply bend the paper. They need that closeness to work. The streets are full of adult pigeons, but you never see babies. This is because they nest in very hidden places, like rooftops or bridges, and the chicks do not leave the nest until almost 30 days have passed. When they come out to the street for the first time, they already have the exact size and feathers of an adult. That is why it is practically impossible to distinguish a young pigeon from an old one. Euro banknotes have different sizes on purpose. The higher the value, the larger the bill. It is for accessibility reasons for people with visual impairment. The change in size, together with different texture and raised numbers, allows blind people to identify the value of each bill only by touch. An inclusive design few people know. In Japan, there is an island called Hashima that looks like a warship made of concrete. It was a heavily populated coal mine that was suddenly abandoned in the 1970s. Now it is a ghost city so unsettling that it was used as the villain's lair in the movie Skyfall from James Bond, a place where time stopped in a chilling way. When a lion approaches a herd of antelopes, some start making vertical jumps of up to 6.6 feet in the same spot. It is called pronking, and it is not panic. It is a direct message to the predator that means, look at me, I am so fit and have so much energy that I can do this and still outrun you. A survival strategy based on evolutionary showing off. In the United States, there are more storage units for rent than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined. People store so many belongings that do not fit at home that a multi-billion-dollar industry has formed around keeping things they will probably never use again. And in fact, it is very common for these units to be auctioned when owners stop paying the rent. Magnetic trains float on a magnetic cushion of about 3.3 inches. By eliminating friction between metal surfaces, They can reach 373 miles per hour without the train heating up or vibrating, using less energy than a conventional train. They have no wheels touching the rail during the trip. It is future transportation that already works in some Asian countries. The pyramids of Egypt were not originally sand-colored. They were covered with hand-polished white limestone blocks that shone intensely under the sun. At the top, they had a pyramidion covered in gold or electrum. They reflected so much light that it was said they emitted their own glow and could be seen from great distances. They were giant mirrors in the middle of the desert. When Google asks you to select traffic lights or crosswalks to prove you are not a robot, you are actually working for them for free. You are training the artificial intelligence of their self-driving cars. The machine knows how to detect a car, but hesitates with a blurry traffic light. You confirm what it is so the vehicle learns to recognize it. Millions of people training AI without knowing it. In the United States, it is mandatory to wash eggs chemically before selling them, but that process removes the natural cuticle that protects the shell, making it porous, so they must be refrigerated. In Europe, washing them is prohibited and they are sold with their natural protection intact, which is why they can stay outside the fridge in supermarkets without spoiling. Two continents, two opposite solutions. Wolves can eat up to 20 pounds of meat in a single meal, about 20% of their body weight at once. It would be like a human eating 33 pounds in one sitting. Then they can go up to 2 weeks without eating anything. Their stomach expands like a balloon, which is why their belly looks swollen after a hunt. They do not eat like this out of greed, but because they do not know when they will hunt again. And behind the face of Lincoln on Mount Rushmore, there is a secret room. The sculptor wanted to store the most important documents of United States history there, such as the Constitution. The project was left unfinished due to lack of money, but the cave exists, and today it holds a time capsule with historical records, so future civilizations know who those stone faces were. Palm trees are not trees. Botanically, they are more closely related to grass, corn, or rice than to a pine or an oak. They do not have true wood or growth rings. Their trunk is a column of fibrous tissue. That is why they are so flexible in a hurricane. A palm bends extremely without breaking, while a rigid tree with solid wood usually snaps. The leopard is not the largest feline in Africa, but pound for pound, it is the strongest. Its jaw and neck are so powerful that it can hunt an antelope that weighs 3 times more than itself, drag it along the ground, and lift it up a vertical tree trunk to about 19.7 feet high. It does all this so lions do not steal its prey. Superhuman strength in a compact body. Certain species of squid have special cells that not only change color but can become completely transparent. They manipulate reflective proteins in their skin to perfectly blend with ambient light or surrounding water. It is a form of active camouflage that makes them almost invisible to predators. Masters of biological disguise underwater. When you get a pimple on your nose or have a stain on your shirt, you think everyone is looking at you. It is a psychological error called the spotlight effect. Your mind turns you into the main character of your life movie, making you drastically overestimate how much others notice you. The reality is that 90% of people are so focused on themselves, they have not even noticed your stain. The raccoon has hands with a tactile sensitivity that increases by 300% when they get wet. What looks like washing their food is actually a process to obtain a detailed tactile image of what they are about to eat, since water softens the layer of their paws and improves perception. They do not wash for hygiene, but to analyze their food better. Around 25% of the population has the photic sneeze reflex. When looking directly at bright light or the sun, they sneeze uncontrollably. It happens because the optic nerve and the nerve that controls sneezing are so close in the brain that it confuses intense light signals with the need to sneeze. A hereditary neural wiring error. Seabright chickens are a British breed from the 19th century with golden feathers edged in perfect black. They are not raised for eggs or meat, but purely for ornamental beauty. Saffron. They are so elegant they look like jeweled creatures walking down a runway. They look like feathered jewelry parading through a high fashion show. Pay attention. Some robot vacuums map your home while they clean. They scan every corner collecting data about furniture and home size. Companies can infer your income level and habits. What looks like a harmless appliance could cost you your privacy. What seems harmless might already be quietly taking it from you. Each color of industrial grease is a technical code. Red handles high heat, blue resists water, black supports extreme loads, and white is food grade. Green is biodegradable for agricultural use. It is not aesthetic, it is engineering speaking through color. Pure engineering expressed in color to protect machines and people in demanding environments. The HoloLens 2 is an augmented reality headset that tracks your eyes and hands with surgical precision. You simply look at an object and select it as if your gaze had power. It is used in everything from surgery to industrial design. Your eyes command your hands create, and your digital. The more vibrant the blue, the higher the rank. If they lose dominance, the color fades. It is not pigment, but structural coloration, the same effect that makes the sky blue. In these primates, power does not need words or fights to be seen. The blue-footed booby walks clumsily on land, but dives from the sky at 60 miles per hour to catch fish. The blue color of its feet comes from carotenoids in its diet, and the brighter the blue, the more attractive it is for mating. It is proof that appearances deceive, and clumsiness does not define real ability. Here is a shocking fact. The arapaima of the Amazon grows up to 10 feet long, weighs 440 pounds, and has scales strong enough to resist piranha bites. It has a bony-toothed tongue and must breathe air by surfacing. It is considered a living fossil from millions of years ago, an ancient aquatic relic that still dominates freshwater ecosystems. When the largest flying animal in history was Quetzalcoatlus northropi, a pterosaur with a wingspan of up to 40 feet. It lived 68 million years ago, weighed 550 pounds, and could launch into flight with a powerful leap from its hind legs. Sharing the sky with that giant would have been terrifying for any human. MRI machines use magnets so powerful they can pull metal objects like projectiles at high speed. If you enter with a ring or scissors, they can fly off and cause serious injury. What looks like a quiet hospital room is actually an invisible magnetic danger zone. Brad Pitt appears eating in almost all of his movies, and it is not accidental. He does it intentionally to make his characters feel more real and human. In Ocean's 11, he ate in 7 different scenes, and in Troy, he chews while planning war. There is even a YouTube channel dedicated entirely to compiling his eating scenes. In Potens, Portugal, the wildest carnival in the country takes place, and it is recognized by UNESCO. The Corridas run through the streets, wearing suits covered in bells, performing an ancient Celtic ritual. Social order is completely reversed and all rules are broken. It is a raw, ancestral energy that still lives on after centuries. Can you believe there is an electric flying taxi that reaches 200 miles per hour and is as quiet as a modern vacuum cleaner? It produces no emissions, avoids traffic, and has a range of 100 miles. It is already designed to be part of future urban transport, even if it is not in your app yet. Few people know this, but there is an electric surfboard that does not need waves or wind. Once you turn on the hidden motor, keep your balance and glide at high speed across the water. Perfect for lakes and calm bays. Surfing now obeys a power button instead of the weather. La Plata was founded in 1882 with a perfectly planned layout. It combines a grid with diagonal avenues and plazas every 6 blocks. From above, it looks like a chessboard with perfect symmetry. Urban planners around the world study it as a model. It proves that organization can also be beautiful. The bullet ant of South America has the most painful sting on the planet, according to the Schmidt Index. Its venom contains ponerotoxin, which causes burning pain for up to 24 hours with no relief. Amazonian tribes use it in rituals where young people must wear gloves filled with these ants to prove bravery. A tiny creature capable of causing the worst pain imaginable. Many ancient statues from Egypt and Rome have their noses deliberately broken. Invaders believe breaking the nose removed the soul and symbolic power. A statue without a nose stopped representing authority. It was a form of silent warfare, against historical memory. A silent act of war against historical memory that reveals how power struggles shaped the ancient world. Smart high heels that hide the heel in seconds and transform into casual shoes already exist. You go to a party dance, and when you cannot take it anymore, the heel disappears like magic. The design is elegant and functional, ideal for people who want style without sacrificing comfort. Japanese katsuobushi is a fish so hard it feels like solid wood. It is boiled smoked for weeks, dried and fermented with mold for months. It can only be shaved with a special tool. Its flakes seem to move on hot food due to heat, a traditional food that takes 6 months to make and completely transforms any Japanese dish. In South Korea, some people voluntarily lock themselves in simulated prisons to escape stress. Real cells, strict schedules, and no technology. Many say it helps them value freedom. In a world that moves so fast, even a cell can provide mental peace. The Mi-26 is the largest helicopter in the world, with a length of 131 feet and 2 engines producing 11,400 horsepower each. It can carry 20 tons while taking off vertically. It has lifted trucks and entire houses, a flying crane built for war, a flying beast built for war that later saved lives in impossible rescue missions. It may sound crazy, but in Montevideo, there is a museum with a 73-second simulator that recreates the Andes crash. Each second represents 1 day of survival at -4 degrees Fahrenheit. It displays original objects and real testimonies from survivors. An experience that leaves you frozen and directly connected to an unbelievable survival story. It sounds like science fiction, but there is a portable reverse osmosis filter that removes bacteria, viruses, and heavy metals from water without electricity. It can purify 140 liters and feels like carrying a treatment plant in your backpack. Perfect for expeditions and natural disasters. The white-cheeked turaco of Africa produces pigments called turaco verdine and turrichin that are unique in the entire animal kingdom. It has a vibrant green body and hidden crimson wing patches. No other living being has these pigments, a living anomaly that scientists still study to understand how these colors evolve. The classic soccer ball design with white panels and black hexagons was created to be more visible on black and white televisions. This allowed viewers to follow its movement more easily during matches. An icon of global sport born from a technological need. A glass bridge in China was hit with sledgehammers on camera to prove its strength. It resisted the impact without breaking. The demonstration showed that walking over a transparent drop hundreds of feet high can be safe despite the fear. A test that proved fear does not always match reality. In China, a type of sandal went viral because it allows people to walk on wet glass without slipping. Stores demonstrate it by having people walk on soapy surfaces without falling. They are ideal for elderly people in wet work environments. Extreme safety under your feet that can prevent serious accidents in a simple way. This might surprise you. Apple launched its own clothing line in 1986 with shirts and sweatshirts full of 80s style. It failed commercially, but today those items are worth fortunes among collectors. A business failure that turned into a vintage treasure decades later. There is an autonomous robotic bicycle that balances, jumps obstacles, and performs flips without human control. It uses reinforcement learning to improve on its own. It does not follow a fixed script, but decides how to move depending on the environment as if it had instinct. A fascinating glimpse into a future where robots move with lifelike behavior. Here is a powerful fact. In China, a brain-to-leg system allowed a paralyzed man to walk again. It uses artificial intelligence to decode brain signals, bypassing the damaged spinal cord. The brain sends commands and the legs respond in milliseconds. Pure medical history happening in real time. Hard to believe, but in Costa Rica, there are stone spheres more than 1,000 years old, carved without metal or machines. Some exceed 6 feet in diameter and weigh several tons. No one knows their purpose or how they were transported. They are a World Heritage mystery. Perfect stones that still guard their secrets after centuries. It sounds unreal, but Firefly Aerospace successfully landed on the moon with its Blue Ghost module. The achievement was historic, making it the second private company to do so. The entire descent and first minutes on the lunar surface were recorded. The moon is becoming closer than ever. In Hue, Vietnam, cemeteries look like palaces with temples and lakes. The An Bang Cemetery has tombs that resemble colorful mansions with dragons and towers. Families compete to build the most impressive tomb because honoring the dead is eternal pride. In this city, death becomes art and grandeur carved in stone. Some sharks lay spiral-shaped eggs like a corkscrew that wrap around coral and rocks. This shape prevents them from being swept away by currents. The capsule is thick and resistant, protecting the embryo. An incredibly creative natural incubation system. Margins on pages were not invented for aesthetics, but to protect text from rats. In ancient times, rodents chewed the edges of paper in libraries. Scribes left empty space so only the margins would be eaten. What we call design today started as a clever defense. Paul Alexander lived more than 70 years inside an iron lung after contracting polio as a child. He earned a Guinness record. Despite physical limitations, he studied and became a lawyer. He passed away on March 11, 2024 at 78 years old, leaving a powerful lesson of resilience. His life proved that human spirit can overcome devastating circumstances. A teacher in Ghana taught Microsoft Word by drawing the entire interface with chalk on a board because he had no computers. His effort went viral and his school later received donated computers. An inspiring example of passion for education overcoming limitations. Kabaddi is an Asian sport where you invade the opponent field and tag players without breathing. The attacker repeats the word Kabaddi while holding their breath. It is extremely popular in India, with professional leagues and stadiums full of fans. Pure intensity where strength, lung capacity, and strategy define every second. Sea bunnies, despite their adorable name, are actually toxic sea slugs measuring less than 1 inch. They use sensory antennae to move and detect their surroundings underwater. Their cute appearance is completely misleading because their venom makes them dangerous to other marine animals. If you ever get trapped inside a car, you can use the headrest to break a window. You remove it and use the metal prongs to strike the glass hard in a corner. It is a simple emergency technique that could save your life in an extreme situation inside a vehicle. You might be surprised to learn that pedestrian crossings have existed for nearly 2,000 years. In Pompeii, the Romans placed raised stone blocks to cross streets filled with mud and waste. They were spaced so carts could pass between them. Every time you cross a street, you are using a Roman invention, a solution so brilliant it has survived for millennia with almost no changes. There is a robot designed by Stanley Robotics that parks cars with millimeter precision without humans. It lifts, moves, and positions vehicles without a single scratch. It is already used in airports and smart parking facilities. Everything is controlled from an app, and the future of parking already has wheels and sensors. Drinking too much water can kill you. It is called hyponatremia and happens when you dilute your body's sodium until cells swell, including the brain. In extreme cases, it causes seizures, coma, or death. It has happened in marathons and water drinking contests, a medical truth that surprises many because water is usually seen as harmless. Did you know that Lake Baikal is the deepest lake in the world at 5,387 feet and also the oldest at 30 million years? It continues to grow by about 1 inch per year and contains more than 1,700 unique species, including the Nerpa, the only freshwater seal on Earth, a natural wonder that continues to amaze visitors. The Jumping Frog Jubilee in California is a frog jumping competition where you cannot touch the frogs with your hands. You can only encourage them with shouts or taps on the ground. There is a $20,000 prize for breaking the record. It became famous thanks to Mark Twain. An absurd yet fascinating event that attracts thousands every year. It will blow your mind to know that the giant doll from Squid Game also exists in real life in a museum in South Korea. When after the success of the series, it became a global tourist attraction. Thousands visit it to relive the eerie red light, green light scene. An electric car can drive upside down thanks to turbines that generate suction of more than 4,400 pounds. It literally sticks to the ceiling, defying gravity. It is one of the most extreme vehicles ever created, breaking the limits of conventional physics. One of the most extreme machines ever built, challenging everything we thought possible. In Belgium, there is a restaurant completely underwater where you must wear diving gear to reach your table. You eat submerged, surrounded by bubbles and aquatic silence. Probably one of the most unusual dining experiences in Europe. Listen to this. Renoria nickellifera from the Philippines accumulates 1,000 times more nickel than normal plants. In New Caledonia, a tree has turquoise blue sap because it is 25% nickel. Scientists use these plants to clean soil contaminated by mining, a green revolution that helps restore damaged land. Air curtains at store entrances create an invisible barrier that keeps indoor temperature stable and prevents insects from entering. They feel like a light breeze when you walk through. They help reduce energy consumption without most people noticing. An invisible solution that saves energy. This is incredible. The Pia-trained pig looks like a bodybuilder with massive legs and a defined back. It is not training but a natural genetic mutation that creates huge muscles with very little fat. Its meat is highly valued, but the animal is more sensitive to stress. It may not win beauty contests, but in muscle, it stands in a league of its own. In Maryland, the official state sport is jousting with lances on horseback. It is practiced with modern rules and lots of spectacle. Participants train horses and balance strength with precision. Proof that sometimes the past rides alongside the present. It may sound unbelievable, but pizza was born as poor food in Naples between the 15th and 17th centuries. It was flat bread with tomato, garlic, and salt sold on the street. Everything changed in 1889 when Raphael Esposito prepared one for Queen Margherita of Italy. A humble dish that conquered the world. Kanzi is a bonobo that recognizes more than 200 human words and responds to complex instructions. He has used tools without prior training. His case changed how science understands primate intelligence. A true genius that shows how advanced animal minds can be. It may sound crazy, but there is a machine that simulates skiing all year without mountains, cold, or snow. It recreates slopes, obstacles, and speed without moving from one place. Perfect for training or feeling like you are in the Alps, while it is 104 degrees outside. There is a giant automated kite that helps move real ships, reducing fuel consumption by up to 20%. It uses wind with robotic precision like a modern sail, an invention that feels like science fiction but is helping the planet every day. The marine iguana of the Galapagos Islands is the only lizard that swims in the ocean. It dives up to 33 feet, slows its heart to save oxygen, and sneezes salt through its nose. It exists nowhere else on Earth, a unique creature that rewrote the rules of evolution. In 1992, 30,000 rubber ducks fell into the ocean when a container spilled. They have appeared on beaches in Alaska, Scotland, and the Arctic. Scientists use them to study ocean currents, a floating toy that became a scientific tool. You will want to share this. A heart transplant in the United States can cost up to $1,660,000. A kidney transplant around $446,000. Most of the cost is not the organ, but the medical infrastructure and lifelong treatment. Extreme medicine, where a second chance at life has a massive price. A wireless laser projector can display images like animated characters following your car or motorcycle at night. This fun and accessible technology turns any night ride into a unique visual experience, a creative way to use lasers with style. Water buffalo enter water not for fun, but to avoid overheating. They cannot sweat and their dark skin absorbs heat. Without spending hours submerged, they can suffer fatal heat stress. They also feed on aquatic plants others cannot reach. A brilliant survival strategy. The Shami goat from Syria has a long face and large ears that make it look unusual. However, it produces extremely rich milk, and in some countries it can be worth more than a car. It has won international competitions for its genetics. Proof that real value is not always about appearance. You will not believe this, but the first Christian saint was a criminal. Demas was crucified alongside Jesus and asked for forgiveness in his final moments. He became a saint without rituals or intermediaries. Today, he is the patron of prisoners and those seeking redemption. His story shows it is never too late to change. Here is something incredible. Albino buffalo can cost between $50,000 and more than $100,000. And their white skin comes from a mutation that prevents melanin production. In Asia, they are considered sacred. However, they are very sensitive to sunlight and suffer skin problems throughout their lives. An animal that looks like it came from an ancient legend, but is completely real and extremely valuable. China manufactured a seamless steel ring weighing 150 tons and measuring 51 feet in diameter without a single weld. It is used to support fourth-generation nuclear reactors where even one weak joint would be catastrophic. A world record in metallurgical engineering that shows extreme precision manufacturing. Here is a striking fact. A robotic kitchen created by Moli Robotics prepares gourmet dishes automatically. It controls ingredients, temperature, and plating. It is like having a Michelin-level chef hidden in a drawer. You just choose the recipe and it cooks without complaint. It never forgets ingredients and never gets tired like a human chef. There are smart toothbrushes that track your brushing habits and send the data directly to your dentist. They analyze duration, frequency, and neglected areas of your mouth. Technology has reached your bathroom and now observes your daily routine. Technology is now part of even the most personal habits. China built a nuclear fusion reactor known as an artificial sun that reaches more than 270 million degrees Fahrenheit. Unlike fission fusion, produces no long-lived waste and uses hydrogen from seawater. If perfected, it could generate clean, unlimited energy, a small sun inside a lab that could transform humanity's energy future. The Great Wall of China took more than 2,300 years to build and stretches 13,170 miles. More than 1 million people died during its construction. It cannot be seen from space, which is a myth, but it remains the longest human-made structure in history, a project that lasted over 20 centuries and left a permanent mark on Earth. Did you know that the Black Hornet 4 is a micro-military drone that fits in the palm of your hand? It has thermal and night vision, uses artificial intelligence to detect threats and flies almost silently. It looks like a toy, but it is elite technology used in real operations. In 2025, 3 wolves were born with genetics from an extinct dire wolf through gene editing. The project by Colossal Biosciences partially revived traits from a species that disappeared thousands of years ago. It has sparked a major ethical debate about bringing extinct species back, a breakthrough that raises deep questions about the limits of science. It sounds like a joke, but the creator of Pac-Man was inspired by a pizza missing a slice. Seeing the incomplete circle led to the idea of a character that never stops eating. That simple moment created one of the most iconic games in history. Creativity can come from the most ordinary moments. Did you know that in Alhama de Aragon, there is the largest thermal lake in Europe? Its water stays between 82 and 89 degrees Fahrenheit all year. It has been used since Roman times to relieve muscle pain, a unique natural phenomenon where the body relaxes completely. Modern smart refrigerators have touch screens, internal cameras, and artificial intelligence connected to Wi-Fi. They tell you what ingredients you have, suggest recipes, and warn when food is about to expire. But they also track your consumption habits, which could be used as data. Convenience and surveillance now exist in the same device. Imagine a robotic aquatic machine that patrols lakes and ports, cleaning floating waste using artificial intelligence. It detects, collects debris, and monitors water quality autonomously. It is like a water vacuum with environmental awareness. The future of clean oceans may depend on machines like this. Here is something amazing. A floating wind turbine called Pivot Buoy rotates freely at sea like a robotic sunflower. It captures strong offshore winds and generates large-scale clean energy, and this technology could power entire cities without using land space. The blue dragon is a marine mollusk that floats upside down and stores toxins from jellyfish to use as defense. It measures less than 1 inch and has a bright blue wing-like body. a tiny creature that proves that in the ocean, venom and beauty can go together. The indri of Madagascar produces deep calls that can be heard for miles. It is monogamous and raises one offspring at a time. It is critically endangered due to deforestation. Losing it would mean silencing one of the oldest voices of the forest. Have you ever heard that smartwatches can be wrong by up to 93% when calculating calories? They use general formulas that ignore metabolism and muscle mass. If your watch says 500 calories, it might actually be closer to 200. Oh, they are useful as a guide, but not absolute truth. Did you know that an underwater scooter with dual propellers can take you to a depth of 33 feet at 5 miles per hour with up to 2 hours of use? Its compact size lets you carry it in a backpack to the beach, a gadget that makes you feel like a human dolphin. Converse sneakers have side holes that are not just decorative. They help ventilate the foot and allow alternative lacing styles for a better fit. A classic design with hidden functionality. In South Africa, the Tower of Terror ride drops more than 147 feet straight down. The cart pauses at the top, giving you a full view before falling without warning. It is built inside an old gold mine, adding to the fear factor. A ride that challenges even the bravest visitors. There is something almost no one knows. A couple in Miami has been married for 83 years. Lil Gittens and Eleanor Gittens are 108 and 107 years old. Married since 1942, they hold a Guinness record. Their secret is patience, respect, humor, and forgiveness. A biochip developed in Sweden and Germany accelerates wound healing using electricity. It is placed on the skin and sends impulses that make cells move toward the wound 3 times faster. It is promising for diabetes patients and severe injuries. A smart bandage that helps the body heal faster. There is a hybrid vehicle that drives at 85 miles per hour on roads and flies at 50 miles per hour, reaching 14,760 feet in altitude. You can park it and within minutes be flying above traffic. The sky becomes the fast lane. You will not believe this, but a quadruped robot called Lynx walks, runs, and jumps across a rough terrain like a real animal made of metal. It has sensors to maintain balance even when pushed. It is ideal for rescue missions and inspections in dangerous areas. A machine that moves with animal-like precision. Cats have a superpower called the righting reflex that allows them to twist mid-air and land on their feet. It begins at about 3 weeks of age thanks to their flexible spine and lack of a rigid collarbone. They do not have multiple lives, but their reflexes are extraordinary. The Virtua 300 immersive screens place police officers inside realistic simulations to improve reflexes and decision-making under pressure. Imagine standing in the middle of a virtual robbery with surround sound and changing scenarios. A full immersion experience where you are the main character. Listen to this. The green cardigan worn by Kurt Cobain during the MTV Unplugged 1993 was auctioned for millions of dollars. And with stains and missing buttons, it became a symbol of the grunge movement. The surprising part is that he did not even buy it. It was lent to him for that night. A worn piece of clothing that turned into a cultural treasure. There is an anti-drone gun that does not fire bullets but can disable drones instantly. It jams control signals and forces them to land as if they were trained pets. It is silent, precise, and has a range of about 1 mile. It sounds like a spy movie, but it is real and fully operational technology. Mexico once had several glaciers on its highest volcanoes, but today only 3 remain. Experts estimate they will disappear in less than 5 years due to global warming. They were vital water sources for nearby communities. Each melting glacier is a visible warning of climate change. In Thailand, there is a pool that appears to be filled with blood. The water is not actually red, but the tiles combine red and orange tones, creating a striking visual illusion under sunlight. Many tourists visit just to photograph this unusual effect. A 70-foot catamaran with hydrofoils lifts out of the water and glides as if flying, reaching speeds over 50 knots. It features a glass floor to see the ocean below and a luxury cabin. The future of navigation is faster and more elegant than ever. Wearing a cap daily can damage your hair over 5 years. Sweat and moisture can promote fungi and dandruff. By the 3rd year, the hairline may thin and hair can grow finer. It does not cause baldness by itself, but it accelerates damage, a silent effect that progresses until it becomes noticeable. Coco Chanel grew up in an orphanage where she learned to sew. She removed the corset from women's fashion and created comfortable clothing. In 1921, she launched Chanel No. 5, the most famous fragrance in the world. She turned black into a symbol of power with the little black dress. From abandoned child to eternal fashion icon. This is incredible. There is a cushion filled with tiny airbags that inflate strategically while you sit. It analyzes posture and applies pressure to hips, waist, and neck like a physiotherapist. A hidden spa inside your chair, working without you noticing. Space Jam started as a Nike commercial in 1992, where Michael Jordan played with Bugs Bunny. The chemistry worked so well that Warner Brothers turned it into a movie in 1996. One proof that a simple commercial can create a cultural legend. The Uvarito Forest once covered about 1,480,000 acres of Caribbean pine planted by humans. It became the largest man-made forest plantation in the world. It prevented desertification and provided jobs to entire communities. A powerful example of working with nature. The Swedish artist Alexander Unger creates stop-motion animations with a clay figure that always fails in adorable ways. In each video, it attempts simple tasks and ends in chaos. A reminder that storytelling does not need words. Pay attention. The Guardian XO allows users to lift 200 pounds as if it were nothing. It mirrors natural movement and uses swappable batteries. It is already used in factories and rescue operations. It feels like wearing real-life superpowers. On the Clear Vision is a vehicle that transforms into an aircraft in 3 minutes by deploying wings. It can fly at 620 miles per hour and be parked like a normal car. A dream of flying cars becoming reality. Orthokeratology lenses are worn only during sleep and reshape the cornea overnight. When you wake up, you can see clearly all day without glasses. But sleeping with regular lenses can cause severe infections and permanent vision loss. Technology can improve vision, but misuse can be dangerous. Here comes something wild. A flying bathtub with propellers and electric motors can stay airborne for 15 minutes. It is like a jacuzzi combined with a drone. Not practical, but unforgettable. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists created the Doomsday Clock in 1947 with figures like Albert Einstein and J. Robert Oppenheimer. Each year, experts adjust it toward midnight, which represents global catastrophe. In 2026, it was set to 85 seconds, a chilling reminder of global risk. Aviator sunglasses were not created for fashion, but to protect pilots from sunlight above the clouds in the 1930s. Their green lenses reduced glare without distorting colors. They moved from cockpits to everyday style. It sounds like science fiction, but a 110-pound anvil can float on liquid mercury. Mercury is much denser than iron, so the anvil remains on the surface. A simple demonstration that even heavy objects can float. The caterpillar known as the dragonhead caterpillar inflates its head and mimics a venomous snake when threatened. It deceives predators with this survival act. It lives in Central and South American jungles and later becomes a harmless moth, a master of disguise in the insect world. The Agori are a group of ascetics who live in cremation grounds, cover themselves in ashes, and use skulls in rituals devoted to Shiva. They believe nothing is impure because everything is divine. A radical path seeking total spiritual liberation. Tanks use tracks because wheels would sink instantly in mud or sand. Each segment creates a temporary solid surface, allowing movement where other vehicles fail. They sacrifice speed to move anywhere. There is a soft robot made of silicone that swims like a stingray without traditional motors. It moves using electrical pulses that vibrate its flexible fins. A step toward robots that imitate life. Virtual reality gloves recreate textures, temperatures, and movement in real time without wires. You can feel whether a virtual object is rough, cold, or soft. A leap from watching to truly experiencing. Have you heard of the Sea Trek helmet diving system that lets you walk on the ocean floor without swimming? You breathe normally and see fish up close. an accessible way to explore the underwater world. Sea anemones look like flowers, but they are predators with tentacles that paralyze fish in seconds. They can live for hundreds of years. Clownfish are immune and live among them. Beautiful but dangerous creatures of the ocean. Scientists in Spain developed technology to touch holograms without gloves. They use ultrasound to create pressure in the air, simulating textures. You can feel invisible buttons and surfaces, a breakthrough that could change how we interact with digital worlds. Listen to this. In Singapore, there is a massive circular waterfall inside a shopping center that also collects rainwater. The water falls in a spiral from the ceiling and flows into an indoor navigable river. Art, function, and sustainability in one spectacular place. A beautiful reminder that true beauty can also be useful and ecological. The Capsula Mundi project aims to turn cemeteries into forests. The body is placed in a biodegradable egg-shaped capsule, and a tree is planted above it. Over time, the body nourishes the roots. Families visit a living tree instead of a cold grave. A poetic vision of death that could change how we say goodbye. There are glasses with artificial intelligence that describe obstacles using sound and vibrations for blind people. It works like a technological sixth sense. Walking through the city becomes freedom instead of a challenge. Technology with real purpose that restores independence and dignity. Here is a powerful fact. Jamón ibérico can cost more than a used car. The pigs feed on acorns, creating fat that melts in your mouth. The curing process lasts from 3 to 5 years. Some breeds are at risk of disappearing. Each slice is a gastronomic treasure built on centuries of tradition. Matt Stutzman was born without arms, but set a Guinness record for the most precise archery shot at 930 feet. At the London 2012 Paralympics, he won silver, and at the Paris 2024 Paralympics, he became champion. A living example of unstoppable determination. In Burundi, a bicycle can mean survival. Many people transport heavy loads of goods across mountains using bikes that weigh more than they do. Without one, there is no income, and without income, no food. Donating a bicycle there can change a life completely. Only about 30 red diamonds exist in the world. Their color comes from an atomic distortion that science cannot replicate. The Musiev red diamond is worth more than $20 million. The mines that produce them are now closed. Each one is an irreplaceable natural wonder. True cinnamon comes from the inner bark of a tree in Sri Lanka, harvested entirely by hand. It is cut carefully and naturally curls into sticks. And this process has been passed down for generations. A tradition preserved through patience and skill. The Bugatti La Voiture Noire was sold for $18 million, making it the most expensive car in the world. It has a 16-cylinder engine and more than 1,000 horsepower. Only one unit was ever built. More than a car, it is a moving work of art. Amazon has already completed its first drone delivery in Europe, landing directly in Italy. The future of shopping may involve receiving packages from the sky before finishing your coffee. A glimpse into the next era of logistics. The ptarmigan became viral because its call sounds like a well-known phrase. It lives in frozen mountains and changes color with the seasons, brown in summer and white in winter. Its call is meant to mark territory, not to entertain humans. A perfect natural camouflage for extreme environments. In Costa Rica, there is a cave filled with carbon dioxide that can kill animals within seconds. The gas has no color or smell and accumulates at the bottom. Remains of birds and mammals have been found inside, a deadly invisible trap hidden in nature. Few people know you share up to 60% of your DNA with a banana. Humans also share 98.7% with chimpanzees and 61% with flies. All life on Earth is connected, a fact that shows the unity of biology. In Texas, there is a massive barbecue event called Texas Open Fire Meetup. Chefs from more than 20 countries cook entire animals over open fire without gas. a celebration of primitive cooking traditions. While gorillas can lift up to 5 times their body weight and have a bite stronger than a lion, yet they rarely attack. They eat about 66 pounds of vegetation per day and spend half their day feeding. That is why they are called gentle giants. A young man in Vietnam built a fully functional electric Batmobile by hand. It has reinforced body panels, hidden cameras, and a real motor inspired by the Dark Knight films. A comic fantasy turned into reality. There are parts of the ocean so deep that humans cannot reach them, only autonomous underwater vehicles. These robots withstand extreme pressure and operate in total darkness, collecting data and making decisions. Exploration continues even where humans cannot go. The place where Jesus was crucified, known as Golgotha, is now inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Thousands of pilgrims touch the rock each year, a sacred place filled with centuries of faith. In New Zealand, cabbages can grow up to 88 pounds thanks to rich soil and cold climates. They are edible, but so large they are more of an agricultural curiosity. Nature can exceed expectations when conditions are ideal. As a teenager, Cristiano Ronaldo was diagnosed with tachycardia, which could have ended his career. He underwent surgery and returned to training within days. He did not just defeat opponents, he overcame his own body. Here is a striking fact. Jocks dumbbells can change weight automatically using a screen. They count reps, track time, and estimate calories burned. Fitness meets smart technology. There is a laptop with a screen that physically expands from 14 to 16.7 inches. It slides outward smoothly, creating more visual space without external devices. A device that adapts to your needs. The Dubai Gold Souk has more than 380 jewelry shops filled with gold. It houses the largest gold ring in the world, weighing 141 pounds. Prices can be negotiated directly. A place where gold shines openly in every corner. In Ben Al Madinah, there is the smallest church in the world with just 21 square feet. Weddings have taken place there despite its size, proof that faith does not need large spaces. The first roller coaster was not built for entertainment, but to transport coal in Pennsylvania. In 1846, entrepreneurs turned the idea into a commercial attraction. From industry to thrill ride, there is a flying motorcycle called Bolalona that combines jet propulsion with artificial intelligence. It does not need roads, only open sky. A futuristic vehicle straight out of science fiction. During the Apollo 14 astronaut Alan Shepard played golf on the moon. The low gravity made the ball travel incredible distances, a small swing that became history. The ocean cleanup removed more than 55 million pounds of plastic from the ocean in 2025. Their systems use wind and currents without polluting engines, a real step toward saving the oceans. Scorpions can survive 6 days underwater, live a year on a single meal, and glow under ultraviolet light. They have existed for 400 million years and can withstand extreme radiation, a nearly indestructible design of nature. Airplane oxygen masks do not store oxygen. They generate it through a chemical reaction when activated. It is a portable system that produces air only when needed. A life-saving chemical process. In Tulcan, a self-taught gardener sculpted more than 300 cypress trees over 40 years. The shapes represent symbols and geometry. If not maintained, they disappear. A living cemetery that requires constant care. There is a fish that looks like it came from a horror movie, the pacu, a close relative of the piranha. What makes it disturbing is that it has teeth almost identical to humans, square and flat. Despite its appearance, it is mostly herbivorous, feeding on fruits and seeds. However, there are cases of painful bites when people swim nearby. A creature that looks terrifying but is mostly peaceful. In the Joannina Library, the most unusual guardians are not librarians but bats. Built in the 18th century, it houses more than 70,000 rare books. Bats sleep on shelves during the day and hunt insects at night that could damage the collection. Each bat can catch up to 500 insects in a single night. Nature itself protecting human knowledge. Scientists in Australia confirm something that sounds impossible. The fungus Fusarium oxysporum can dissolve gold from soil and turn it into pure gold particles. It oxidizes gold compounds and deposits them as nanoparticles. It literally produces gold, which could help detect underground deposits without mining. In the United Kingdom, 8 babies were born with DNA from 3 people, making them immune to certain genetic diseases. In 2015, a technique was approved combining the mother's egg, the father's sperm, and a small amount of mitochondrial DNA from a donor. Only a tiny fraction of the DNA comes from the donor, a breakthrough allowing families to avoid passing deadly conditions. In Cancun, there are underwater museums with sculptures designed to support coral growth and marine life. These artworks become living reefs over time, hosting many species. Art that grows and protects the ocean. Researchers at the University of Windsor found that dandelion root extract triggered cell death in more than 95% of colon cancer cells within 48 hours. It acted selectively, targeting cancer cells without harming healthy ones. A simple plant showing surprising medical potential. In Scotland, there is Ebenezer Place, the shortest street in the world, measuring just 6 feet with a single door. It was officially registered in 1887 and attracts thousands of visitors each year. Some even walk across it just to say they did. The Honduran white bat is so unusual, it looks like a cotton ball. It lives in tropical regions of Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras. It has pure white fur and a bright yellow nose. Instead of caves, it builds shelters by folding leaves. A tiny animal, just 2 inches long, that plays a key role in spreading seeds. The dragonfly is one of the most impressive insects, capable of moving its 4 wings independently. It can fly forward, backward, sideways, hover, and change direction instantly. A flying machine perfected by nature over millions of years. The exoplanet 55 Cancri e, about 40 light-years away, is known as the Diamond Planet. It is about twice the size of Earth and orbits so close to its star that a year lasts only 18 hours. Scientists believe much of it may be made of crystallized carbon. Its surface reaches more than 4,300 degrees Fahrenheit, one of the most extreme worlds ever discovered. A study published in Nature Human Behavior with more than 97,000 participants found that playing video games up to 3 hours a day reduces psychological distress and increases life satisfaction. It also helps fight loneliness and build friendships. Science suggests gaming can have real benefits. In Nigeria, there is a place called Igbo Ora, known as the town of twins, where the rate of twin and triplet births is the highest in the world. Diet and genetics may play a role. Walking there feels like entering a world of doubles. Microsoft is developing Project Silica, a technology that uses quartz glass to store data for centuries without degradation. Unlike current storage devices, it resists time and obsolescence. A glass memory that could outlast civilizations. In the jungles of Suriname lives the unusual toad Pipa Pipa. The female carries eggs embedded in the skin of her back, where they develop until emerging as fully formed toads. One of the most bizarre reproductive strategies in nature. In Australia, there is a massive steel black box located in Tasmania designed to record the possible collapse of humanity. It tracks temperature, carbon dioxide levels, environmental disasters, and key global data. It is solar-powered and built to last thousands of years, a silent witness built to outlive humanity. In Romania, the Scarășoara Cave hides an underground glacier considered one of the oldest in Europe, with more than 3,000 years of age. This block contains around 120,000 cubic meters of perfectly preserved ice. It was discovered in the 19th century and attracts explorers and scientists who study its layers to understand ancient climates. Entering it feels like stepping back into an ice age that still breathes beneath the lard. In the video game Minecraft, the organization and Reporters Without Borders created a virtual library where censored articles and investigations can be accessed in countries with strict censorship. This in-game library aims for global reach that is almost impossible for governments to control. The block world becomes a space of free information, like a digital library of Alexandria. The Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield recorded the first music video in space in May 2013, performing Space Oddity by David Bowie aboard the International Space Station. With his guitar floating in zero gravity, he showed how music adapts to weightlessness. The video went viral with more than 50 million views. A guitar floating among the stars while one of the most iconic songs ever played. In the depths of the Indian Ocean lives Chrysomalin squamiferum, known as the iron-scaled snail. This small mollusk lives near hydrothermal vents where water is rich in minerals at extreme temperatures. Its shell and part of its skin are covered in iron and sulfur, forming a natural armor unique in the animal kingdom. A living shield built to survive conditions that would destroy most life. The 88 butterfly lives in South American jungles and gets its name from the striking pattern on its wings. When fully open, the number 88 appears clearly formed by black lines over a white and reddish background. With nature writing numbers with perfect precision as both beauty and camouflage, the government of China is building a new city from scratch called Xiong, a new area about 60 miles from Beijing. It is designed to reduce overcrowding and will cover more than 770 square miles with an expected population of 5 million people. It is planned to be fully sustainable with green areas, forests, lakes, and parks, a futuristic city designed before it even exists. The Basenji is one of the most unique dog breeds because it does not bark. Instead, it produces a yodel-like sound, combining growls and melodic tones. Originating from Central Africa, it was used for hunting due to its silence. A dog that communicates without barking. One in Greece lies Meteora, where massive rock formations rise like pillars and monasteries sit on top, appearing to float. For centuries, monks lived there seeking isolation and protection, a place where nature and architecture merge in the sky. A Slovak innovator created the first transparent coffee called CLR-CFF. It looks like bottled water, but has the same taste and caffeine as regular coffee. A high-pressure filtration process removes the color without affecting flavor. Coffee that wakes you up without leaving a trace. In Egypt, archaeologists discovered the screaming mummy, whose mouth is open as if frozen in a scream. The expression has sparked theories ranging from agonizing death to unusual burial practices. One of the most unsettling mysteries of ancient Egypt. In the Hawaii lives Sissiopterus stimsoni, also known as the climbing fish. Despite its tiny size, it can climb waterfalls several feet high, using its mouth and fins like suction cups. A fish with the spirit of a mountain climber. As in Chile, the Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, transforms every few years. After rare rainfall, the ground suddenly blooms with thousands of colorful flowers. A barren desert turning into a vibrancy of life for a brief moment. The rainbow eucalyptus, native to Philippines and Indonesia, is one of the most striking trees in the world due to its multicolored bark. As the outer layer peels away, it reveals bright green that gradually turns into orange, red, purple, and brown. It can grow over 230 feet tall, a tree that looks like it was painted by hand. In 2017, a team of marine biologists discovered in Jervis Bay a community of octopuses that changed everything we knew about them. Between 10 and 15 individuals were found living together in dens built from shells. They showed communication through color changes in cooperative behavior. This place named Octlantis revealed a hidden social life in octopuses. Wolfia globosa, also known as watermeal, is the smallest flowering plant in the world, measuring less than 1/20th of an inch. It looks like a tiny green dot floating on water, but contains high levels of protein, iron, and antioxidants. A microscopic plant with massive nutritional power. In Zhangye Dangxia landform, there is a geological park famous for mountains with vibrant colors that look unreal. These formations were created over millions of years by mineral layers, forming stripes across the landscape. A rainbow frozen in stone, stretching for miles. In Asia grows Takachantrieri, known as the bat flower. Its dark purple petals resemble wings and long filaments, extend up to 28 inches. It thrives in humid tropical climates and is highly valued by collectors. A flower that looks like it belongs in a dark fantasy world. The rockhopper penguin is one of the most charismatic birds of the southern hemisphere. Its golden head feathers resemble a wild hairstyle and play a key role in courtship displays. While they live in noisy colonies where each penguin recognizes its partner's call. A small bird with a bold personality. A woman in China known as Xiao Li asked her 20 boyfriends to buy her the newly released iPhone 7, and they all agreed. She sold them and earned about $17,000, which she used as a down payment for a house. Some saw genius, others saw manipulation. The aquatic carnivorous plant, Aldrovanda vesiculosa, lives entirely underwater, feeding on small insects and crustaceans. Its trap snaps shut in milliseconds when triggered. A silent underwater hunter, moving at incredible speed. In many regions of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, people use Salvadora persica as a natural toothbrush. Its fibers clean teeth while releasing antibacterial substances and natural fluoride. An ancient dental tool, still effective today. And in the massive marble quarries of Italy and Greece, excavators look tiny compared to the enormous cuts in the mountains. Each block can weigh several tons and is used in sculptures and luxury buildings. From above, these quarries look like giant works of art carved into earth. In 2025, a major milestone in genetic editing was achieved. A 9-month-old baby with CPS1 deficiency received a therapy based on CRISPR developed in just 6 months. Scientists corrected a mutation using base editing without cutting DNA. A step toward personalized medicine for previously untreatable diseases. The Turkish Van from the Lake Van region is known as the swimming cat because it enjoys water. Its coat is naturally water-resistant and dries quickly. A rare feline that breaks all the rules. And the actor Stanley Tucci said playing the killer in The Lovely Bones, released in 2010, was extremely difficult. The role affected him deeply, and after scenes, he often apologized to Saoirse Ronan, who comforted him. A performance that left a real emotional mark. China launched the Tianwen-2 in May 2025, aiming to collect samples from asteroid 469,219 and return them by 2027. It will also study Comet 311P in 2035, a major step in space exploration. In Serbia, mud volcanoes erupt cold bubbling mud instead of lava. Underground gases push mud through cracks, forming craters that look like boiling cauldrons. A strange landscape that feels alien yet real. While researchers in Japan created touchable holograms using a method called aptoclone. It combines lasers, plasma, and airwaves to simulate real textures. You can see and feel holograms with your bare hands. In New Zealand, the Lake Rotorua is known for mineral-rich waters and strong sulfur smell. Its colors shift between green, yellow, and brown, depending on geothermal activity. Beautiful from afar, but dangerous up close. The actor Tom Hanks said filming Castaway in 2000 was one of the hardest experiences of his career. He even spoke to the volleyball Wilson off camera to stay sane, a role that pushed him to his limits. The Solar Orbiter observed the South Pole of the Sun for the first time in March 2025. Its data revealed chaotic magnetic patterns indicating the Sun is near its peak cycle. And what a discovery that helps protect Earth from space weather. At 20 years old, Daniel Jackson claimed an unoccupied territory between Croatia and Serbia and created Liberland. He established a flag, passports, and a government, a country born from an idea. In Pripyat, abandoned after the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, time seems frozen. Building schools and a Ferris wheel remain untouched. A real ghost city frozen in history, regenerative medicine now allows scientists to repair the human body using lab-grown tissues made from stem cells and three-dimensional bioprinters. Skin, bones, and even small organs can be created and adapted to a person's DNA. A future where the body can repair itself with custom-built parts. Dan Price, CEO of Gravity Payments, raised the minimum salary of all his employees to $70,000 per year, cutting his own salary from $1,100,000 to $70,000 to fund it. The company doubled its staff and tripled its revenue. When the pandemic hit, all employees voluntarily reduced their salaries by 60% to save the company. When it recovered, as a sign of gratitude, they bought Dan a Tesla as a collective gift. Every year during the Perseids in August and the Geminids in December, hundreds of meteors cross the atmosphere and can be seen with the naked eye from different parts of the planet. These fragments of comets and asteroids ignite when they come into contact with the air, creating bright streaks of light across the sky. Photographers around the world capture them with high-speed cameras, revealing astonishing details of a phenomenon the human eye sees only for an instant. A celestial spectacle that turns the night sky into a cosmic light show. China created a fully digital hospital that simulates real surgeries remotely using artificial intelligence. And this AI not only trains doctors and nurses in a virtual operating room without risk to real patients, but can also treat up to 3,000 patients per day. Its digital doctors diagnose, prescribe treatments, simulate complex surgeries, and manage emergencies, all within a controlled environment that could completely transform how medicine is practiced and taught. Chimpanzees consume the equivalent of half a liter of beer per day by eating ripe and fermented fruits. And according to scientists, this may explain why humans feel a natural attraction to alcohol. The drunk monkey theory, supported by biologist Robert Dudley, has gained strength as studies show that primates consistently prefer nectars with higher alcohol content when given the choice. An unexpected evolutionary link between primates and alcohol. In Denmark, festivals are held where expert artists create sand sculptures that can reach up to 10 meters in height. These massive temporary works require weeks of meticulous effort, where every detail is carefully shaped to bring castles, figures, and incredible forms to life. The combination of extreme creativity and patience transforms sand into stunning masterpieces that last only a few days before disappearing. The Japan Football Association is considering withdrawing from the Asian Football Confederation in response to the growing influence of Qatar and Saudi Arabia within the organization. If Japan moves forward, other East Asian countries are expected to join in creating a new independent federation. Nations such as South Korea, Australia, and even Iraq could be part of this new structure, while Gulf countries would remain in the current AFC. When in China, a couple discovered that their lives had crossed long before they met. In the year 2000, without knowing it, both appeared in the same photograph in front of an iconic sculpture in Qingdao, one with his mother and the other with a group of tourists. A decade later, they met, fell in love, got married, and had twin daughters. While reviewing old photos, they discovered the image, as if destiny had left a clue from the very beginning. The famous channel MTV, which launched the era of music videos in 1981, will shut down its secondary channels on December 31, 2025. Channels like MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90, Club MTV, and MTV Live will stop broadcasting due to the dominance of streaming platforms and the decline of traditional television. Mo, the main MTV channel, will remain active, focusing on reality shows. A historic musical era officially comes to an end. In the year 2025, the Chinese hypercar 1U9 Extreme broke the world speed record for production cars, reaching approximately 496.22 kilometers per hour. The record was achieved at the ATP test track in Papenburg, leaving competitors far behind. This result proves that Chinese automotive engineering is making a massive impact on the high-performance industry. Imagine moving so fast that the landscape becomes a blur of colors. Around 3,500 perfectly synchronized drones choreographed historical symbols as part of a concert in Vatican City. Artists like Pharrell Williams, Andrea Bocelli, and Karol G performed at this event honoring Pope Francis during the concert titled Grace for the World. It took place during the third global meeting on human fraternity, where Francis advocated for a world based on peace, a visual and musical spectacle unlike anything seen before in the Vatican. Autophagy is a biological process in which the body's cells break down and recycle their own damaged components when they do not receive food for a certain period of time. Nobel Prize winner Yoshinori Ohsumi was awarded for uncovering the exact mechanisms behind this process, including the recycling of defective proteins and aging mitochondria. Preliminary human studies show that intermittent fasting and intense exercise can stimulate autophagy, improving metabolism and potentially contributing to longevity. Luca, a Belgian child diagnosed with diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, one of the deadliest childhood cancers, unexpectedly overcame the disease. He participated in the Biomed clinical trial in France, receiving a personalized treatment adapted to the unique genetic profile of his tumor. The results stunned doctors. The tumor disappeared completely. Researchers believe a specific mutation made it especially sensitive to the treatment. In the year 2025, actor Dwayne Johnson was moved to tears after receiving a 15-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival for his performance in The Smashing Machine. The film tells the story of mixed martial artist Mark Kerr, who became an icon but struggled with addiction and a turbulent personal life. For Johnson, it was a deeply personal project that required vulnerability the audience had never seen before. Critics called his performance bold and transformative. The company Neurobotics introduced the domestic and industrial robot 4NE1, an android with advanced artificial intelligence, 360-degree vision, a 24-hour battery, and tactile skin. The model will cost 60,000 euros and will be available in 2026, capable of lifting up to 60 kilograms. Even more impressive, each robot is connected in a network with 4 others of the same model. So what one learns, all learn instantly. The same idea as iRobot, but in real life. The LEGO Group announced a multi-year collaboration with Pokémon, with sets available starting March 1, 2026. Reports indicate 3 main sets will be released, one with 587 pieces for $59.99, another with 250 pieces for $199, and a massive set with 6,838 pieces for $649.99. The combination of 2 iconic 1990s franchises guarantees huge success. Kevin Costner was in talks with Princess Diana of Wales to star together in The Bodyguard 2, a sequel to the successful original film with Whitney Houston. Diana had even approved a kiss scene in the script. However, the project never happened after her tragic death in 1997. Years later, Prince William told Costner casually that his mother liked him, and he simply replied that he knew. When in the year 2025, underwater drones reach remarkable levels of autonomy and precision, the Toloka TLK-150, presented in Ukraine, can stealthily approach near the water surface to detect enemy ships without being detected. It uses electric propulsion and advanced navigation to operate in shallow waters. Meanwhile, the Red Wing drone travels entire oceans using marine currents to collect scientific data on temperature and salinity. The Anti-Gravity A1 is a drone capable of recording in 8K with 360 degrees without leaving any blind spots in the footage. Its dual lenses and digital stitching system make the drone itself disappear from the video, creating fully immersive aerial footage. It weighs just 249 grams, reducing flight restrictions and making it more practical. It also features gesture and eye control, allowing intuitive operation without a remote. NVIDIA is developing an artificial intelligence called Cosmos, trained on millions of hours of YouTube videos, with the goal of creating models capable of understanding and generating real-world visual content. According to leaked documents, the company used tools to download videos from multiple platforms using virtual machines to bypass restrictions. It is estimated that the project generated data equivalent to a human lifetime of visual experience per day, raising major legal and ethical concerns. The universe, the planet, history, and technology are full of curiosities that remind us how small and how astonishing we are at the same time. From a butterfly with a mathematical number on its wings to a diamond planet shining 40 light years away. From a baby cured through genetic editing to a fungus that excretes gold beneath the soil of Australia. The world never stops surprising us, and there will always be something new you did not know until today. The Earth Scraper is an architectural concept designed for Mexico City that proposes building a skyscraper downward, descending 300 meters below the surface with an inverted pyramid of 65 levels. The idea came from BNKR Arquitectura as a response to the lack of urban space in one of the most densely populated cities in the world. It would feature natural light entering through a large central void, along with underground residences, shops, and green spaces. When cities can no longer grow upward, the future might lie beneath our feet. In advertising photo shoots, the ice cream you see is not real dairy ice cream, but mashed potatoes with added coloring. Real ice cream melts in minutes under the intense heat of studio lights, ruining each shot before it can be captured properly. Mashed potatoes, on the other hand, hold their shape for hours and can be molded with precision to look perfectly delicious. The next time you see an ice cream ad, what you are actually looking at is a disguised potato. The raccoon dog, known as tanuki in Japan, is an Asian canid that fools everyone with its appearance, because although it looks like a raccoon, they are not related at all. The most surprising fact is that it is the only known canid that hibernates, entering a state of lethargy during winter to conserve energy. It can also climb trees with ease, something extremely rare within its animal family. When threatened, it can play dead with such convincing effectiveness that predators abandon it, believing it is lifeless. There is a jellyfish called Turritopsis dohrnii, known as the immortal jellyfish, or that unlike all known living beings does not biologically age. Under stress, physical damage, or lack of food, it activates a cellular process called transdifferentiation, in which its cells change function and rebuild the organism from scratch, returning to the juvenile polyp stage. In theory, this cycle can repeat indefinitely, making it potentially immortal. Although it can die from predators or disease, studying it could provide revolutionary insights into aging and regenerative medicine. There are fungi called Ophiocordyceps capable of infecting, controlling, and killing insects with precision that seems straight out of a horror movie. The fungus spores land on the insect, penetrate its body, and begin to grow internally, feeding on its tissues. Then they take full control of the host's nervous system, forcing it to move to the perfect location for the fungus to reproduce. Once there, the fungus kills the insect, grows out of its body, and releases new spores to restart the cycle with other victims. The Hubble and James Webb Space Telescopes have captured images of auroras shining in Jupiter's atmosphere with far greater intensity than any aurora on Earth. This phenomenon forms when charged particles collide with the planet's gases near its poles, and unlike Earth's auroras, it never fully fades. Jupiter's moon Io constantly ejects volcanic material into space that feeds this phenomenon, generating energy storms capable of releasing more energy than millions of simultaneous lightning strikes on Earth. A permanent spectacle that never goes out. The Chocolate Hills are one of the most striking natural formations on the planet, located on the island of Bohol in the Philippines. For much of the year, they are completely green. But during the dry season, the grass turns brown and the entire landscape looks like it is covered in giant chunks of chocolate, ready to eat. Millions of years ago, this area was underwater, forming from coral and limestone deposits that tectonic plates lifted and rain sculpted into its distinctive conical shape. There are more than 1,200 hills and none appear exactly the same. The pelican eel, also called the umbrella mouth eel, is one of the strangest and most mysterious inhabitants of the ocean depths. Its most impressive feature is its gigantic jaw, far larger than the rest of its body, which acts like a flexible net to trap prey in a place where food is extremely scarce. It lives at depths from 1,600 to 9,800 feet, where sunlight never reaches and the pressure is immense. Its tail ends in a tip that can emit tiny flashes of light to lure prey in total darkness. Oymyakon, a small town in eastern Siberia, is the coldest inhabited place on Earth, with a record low of -102.1 degrees Fahrenheit, a figure even referenced by NASA. Residents have learned to adapt to a brutal climate where cars are kept running constantly to prevent engines from freezing, and pipes do not exist because the ground remains frozen year-round. Daily life revolves entirely around the cold, from special clothing to a protein-rich diet to generate body heat. Even so, the town remains inhabited and functioning. The mantis Metalyticus splendidus completely breaks the classic image of a green mantis. Its body has an exoskeleton with a metallic sheen that reflects light and shifts between blue, green, violet, and copper hues, depending on the viewing angle. In the tropical forest, it acts as camouflage, blending with the reflections of leaves and bark, making its silhouette difficult to detect. Unlike other mantises that wait motionless for prey, this one strikes explosively along tree trunks. Approximately every 2 weeks, a language disappears from the planet forever. With it, not only words are lost, but also a unique way of understanding reality, naming nature, time, emotions, and the collective memory of an entire people. Many of these languages have no written form and exist only in the spoken voices of small communities, making them extremely vulnerable to globalization. When a language dies, ancestral knowledge of medicinal plants, ecosystems, and astronomy that is not recorded anywhere else also disappears. Nail houses are homes that remain standing, while highways, shopping centers, or massive excavations rise around them because their owners refuse to sell. This is often due to disagreement over compensation or a deep attachment to lifelong homes. Since the private property law of 2007 in China, the expropriation process has become more complex, and citizens have gained greater legal protection. Some of these houses have become viral symbols of resistance, attracting tourists and photographers from around the world. In India, there are stepwells known as baoris, built around the 9th century to store rainwater and provide access during droughts. Some, like the largest in Rajasthan, reach 13 levels deep with more than 3,500 steps, forming a perfectly symmetrical geometry descending to the water. Beyond their practical function, these structures served as social gathering places, resting spots, and sites for religious rituals. Their design ensured that even when water levels dropped, steps remained to reach the water. Some earthquakes can generate gold almost instantly deep within the earth. Hot, a mineral-rich fluids transport dissolved gold through rock fractures. And when an earthquake occurs, the pressure drops suddenly, causing the gold to solidify within seconds in the cracks. Over time and repeated earthquakes, these microscopic particles accumulate to form exploitable gold veins. This shows that the most violent and destructive geological processes can also create valuable metals for humanity. Orcas are extremely intelligent and efficient predators that hunt everything from small fish to seals and whales using teamwork that resembles perfectly choreographed routines. Each family group develops its own hunting techniques, passed down from generation to generation, such as creating waves to knock prey off ice. Their brains are among the most complex in the ocean, and their communication is so advanced that each clan has its own completely distinct dialect. Despite their imposing reputation as hunters, there are no confirmed records of fatal attacks on humans in the wild. In 2016, Luke Akins jumped from a plane at 25,700 feet, reaching a free fall speed of 120 miles per hour without any parachute. His only goal was to land with millimeter precision on a net suspended about 20 stories above the ground, monitored by a team using colored lights to indicate his trajectory. In the final seconds, he had to completely turn and face upward, as landing in any other position would have meant fatal injuries. He achieved it perfectly in front of millions of live viewers. The fly Gonura trident decided that being a fly was not enough to survive and developed a defense mechanism completely unique in nature. If you look closely at its transparent wings, you will not see random patterns, but two ants perfectly drawn with legs and antennae that seem to patrol its body. By moving its wings asynchronously, the figures come to life, creating an optical illusion that paralyzes predators with total confusion. The result is that the predator sees what appears to be ants walking on it and decides to retreat to avoid facing these insects. In the 1920s, when jazz was booming and social rules were beginning to crumble, many women began painting their knees with elaborate designs. Flappers not only shortened their skirts, but transformed their knees into a visible symbol of personal freedom. And while dancing the Charleston nonstop, the makeup accentuated every movement, turning the dance into a full spectacle. Beauty salons in cities like New York even offered knee decoration as a special service for any client. The Swedish warship Vasa was one of the most ambitious of its time and sank on August 10, 1628, after traveling barely 426 feet from the port. Its design had a critical flaw: too many cannons on the upper deck and very few on the lower, making it completely unstable. A single gust of wind was enough to tip it and let water in. Most remarkably, it remained underwater for over 300 years until it was rescued in 1961, preserved almost intact thanks to the cold waters of the Baltic Sea. An artificial photosynthesis is a technology that imitates plants to convert sunlight into clean fuels using artificial leaves made with semiconductors and special catalysts. It uses water and carbon dioxide to produce chemical energy like hydrogen or fully clean synthetic fuels. This approach allows solar energy to be stored sustainably, reduces pollutant emissions, and generates usable fuel even when the sun is not shining. A solution that literally copies the most efficient mechanism evolution has created over millions of years of history. Self-healing materials are substances capable of repairing cracks or damage by themselves, mimicking the natural healing process of human skin. They use mechanisms such as microcapsules that release repair agents when damage is detected, dynamic molecular bonds, or internal reactions that activate automatically when a structural failure occurs. These technologies greatly increase material durability, reduce maintenance costs, and make structures used in construction, electronics, and infrastructure much more resilient. Basically, materials that heal themselves as if they were alive. Jumping spiders of the family Salticidae do not move their eyes like most animals. Their outer lens remains completely fixed, but inside they have retinal tubes that slide thanks to microscopic muscles, allowing them to focus with incredible precision before pouncing on prey. Because these tubes are almost transparent, you can see them move inside the eye, creating the strange effect that the spider seems to follow you with its gaze. They can also distinguish colors and even ultraviolet light, something extremely rare in arachnids. Meet Midas, the small feline who has captured hearts globally thanks to her 4 unique ears. This beautiful Russian blue was rescued in Turkey a year ago and has since lived under the loving care of her current caretaker. Her singular appearance has turned her into a true celebrity on social media and international media. Meet Tira, a zebra unique for her uncommon pattern. Instead of classic stripes, her body is covered with distinctive spots. This natural rarity is due to a phenomenon called melanism, which is the opposite of albinism. In this case, the skin accumulates a higher amount of melanin, the dark pigment responsible for her singular coloration. Joshua Vides has stood out in the world of visual art for his ability to turn ordinary cars into pieces of art that look like they came straight out of a comic book. His unique style carefully blends vinyl with hand-painted details to transform three-dimensional vehicles into flat images that mimic cartoons. Thanks to this technique, his creations challenge perception, making cars appear like animated illustrations in motion. Big Beach, also called Big Major K, is an uninhabited islet located in the charming Exumas in the Bahamas. What truly makes it stand out is not its tropical scenery, but its curious residents, a group of wild pigs. These peculiar animals have gained worldwide attention for their strange behavior, swimming effortlessly in the turquoise water surrounding the island. Bernard Smilde, a creator from the Netherlands, devised an innovative method to generate clouds indoors. His technique combines smoke and vapor while carefully adjusting temperature and humidity conditions to form ephemeral clouds that remain visible only for brief moments, just long enough to capture them in photographs. In Queenstown, New Zealand, the Nevis swing is located, recognized as the most impressive swing in the world, hanging at an approximate height of 525 feet. And this extreme attraction allows users to experience speeds exceeding 75 miles per hour, offering a unique adrenaline rush. Felix Semper has gained worldwide fame for his innovative sculptures made entirely of paper, which stand out for their ability to stretch and fold as if they were living objects. These pieces are composed of thousands of sheets carefully stacked and joined, giving them surprising elasticity similar to an accordion. At the age of 64, Diana Nyad achieved a feat that marked extreme sports history by swimming from Cuba to Florida without the protection of a shark cage. On September 2, 2013, she completed this 110-mile journey after nearly 53 hours continuously in the water. This accomplishment represented her 5th attempt, after having faced and overcome numerous obstacles in previous tries. Snow, a beer practically unknown outside China, holds the title of the best-selling beer worldwide. Its success is not due to global popularity, but its enormous local market and affordable price. With millions of liters consumed each year, this brand has conquered Chinese consumers because of its low cost, making it a preferred option in the country. And this is all. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Zarpado facts.